You sure love soft things, don't you, Lenny?
Yeah, I love puppies.
Yeah, puppies. A lot like this one. You see, Lenny and this puppy are very similar. The puppy and Lenny are both oblivious to the world around them, and also just look at how innocent they are. Neither of them would either do something bad on purpose. You really love bunnies, right?
Yes, George always talks about how I will get to tend them at our farm.
I see, so the rabbits represent your dream to own a farm with George.
I'm gonna get to feed them alfalfa.
It also seems that throughout the book, you are compared and described as an animal. At the beginning of the book, Steinbeck says that you walked heavily, dragging your feet a little the way a bear drags his paws.
What?
Never mind, the audience will hopefully understand. You seem to get into a lot of trouble because of your obsession with petting soft things. You don't have much self-control, do you?
It's not my fault. I love to pet those soft things.
I guess not, but it's quite funny that a guy like you has a last name Small. I mean, you're so big and muscular, but you aren't quite smart when it comes to being in a tough situation.
Did you say I'm not smart?
Not at all, big guy.
Hello, Lenny. How are you doing today?
Very good.
That's good. So, in this session, we'll review your chart from our previous session, and then I will assess your current condition. So, are you still working as a farmhand?
Yes.
And how is George doing?
All right.
Okay. Are you still afraid of doing bad?
Yep.
And what would be the consequences of that?
George won't let me tend the rabbits at our farm.
And how would that make you feel?
Angry.
So, what would you do if George didn't let you tend the rabbits?
What do you mean he's not going to let me tend the rabbits?
Well, if he wouldn't let you tend the rabbits.
He's not going to let me tend the rabbits?
Theoretically, he may not. Never mind. We'll just move on. So let's see here. Has George asked you to do anything lately? Something you didn't want to do particularly?
He made me hurt Curly.
And how did you feel about that?
I felt bad.
And why did you feel bad?
I didn't want to hurt anyone.
All right. So what did you do when George told you to hurt Curly? You hurt him, right?
Yes.
Deadly?
Yes.
Sent him to the hospital?
Yes.
Terrific. All right. So did you do it on purpose?
No.
Good. Are you feeling frustrated?
Yes.
All right. Let's move on. Do you remember what we talked about last time?
No.
Okay. Still have those memory issues.
Yep.
So what are your goals currently?
Well, George says I'm going to be able to tend the rabbits at our farm.
That's a good goal, but didn't you kill those little mice?
Yes, I did. Not on purpose.
Alright. That's alright. I understand. Okay, so that was similar to last session's discussions, and I would suggest that you would continue to try and control your anger and try to remember things that you think are important to you and not just soft bunny rabbits. So what are you worried about on a day-to-day basis?
I'm worried not to hurt anyone.
And what about making George worried? Are you worried about that?
Yes.
And is that still because you still want to tend the rabbits?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So during our last session, we assessed your chart on where you're at in your life needs and your pyramid of self-actualization. So, last week, you were all the way at the bottom. You'd completed all of the needs in this category, which is biological and physiological needs, which is good, but we'd like to get you all the way up here. So that's what we're going to work on. Okay. I think that is all. So, yeah, it was nice meeting with you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yep.
Where am I? Am I in a dream?
No, this is an interrogation.
About what, sir? I didn't do nothing wrong.
It's about your life.
Oh, I like soft things.
Okay, let's get down to business. How are you dependent on George?
I am a little childish and clueless, and George tells me what to do. For example, I started to drink from a disgusting green pond, and George had to tell me I could get sick.
Why else are you dependent on George?
I love small animals such as mice, rabbits, and puppies. I also have a bad memory, and George has to constantly remind me of the plan.
Interesting. You offered to run to the hills. Why?
George became fed up with me and me playing with dead mice and asking for ketchup on my beans.
How did George react?
He said he was just fooling around. He wanted me with him and he'd buy me a pup.
So we conclude that you are a burden for George, but you don't want to be one. You are also manipulative and clever, am I right?
That's right.
Why is your name both ironic and symbolic?
Well, my name is Lennie Small and I am not small at all. But it does represent my personality. I am like a timid little kid.
What does Slim do with 4 pups right after they are born?
He drowns them because they are weak and die easily. I hope he lets me keep one because I kill a lot of things.
That certainly isn't a good thing, you killing all those things, that is. What are your weaknesses and how do they get you in trouble?
I tend not to think before acting, and one time I insulted Curly and he attacked me. I also get scared easily, and I can't think when I get scared. So when a woman in wheat started screaming at me, I held on to her dress.
What are your strengths and what advantages do they provide for you?
I am very, very big and strong, so I can defend myself. I am also loyal, so I get jobs and work hard.
What do you provide for George, and what do you provide for yours and his relationship?
I provide affection and companionship for George because he gets lonely. I provide loyalty to the relationship. George can always rely on me to listen to him and do as he says, if I remember.
Thank you. That is all. You may go, son.